Hey, this is a short guide for the boss Obryk, the Shield Warden, in Remnant. Obryk is an aggressive melee boss that is well known for destroying players on their first time through Subject 2923 and ending survival runs early. The footage shown is using a character with 150 trait points and gear score 20 on Apocalypse. As always, gear score 20 is the most difficult possible iteration of this boss. Obryk will usually begin the fight by charging straight at the player and either doing an uppercut or a jumping slam attack. If he does the uppercut, it is usually followed by the jumping slam. The uppercut is fairly simple to dodge, but many players get tripped up by the jumping slam. The impact is very delayed, so don't roll out of the way immediately, or else you'll just get smacked. Instead, wait a moment and roll right as he starts to bring his arms down. He will repeat these attacks many times throughout the fight. Obryk can also attempt to bitch slap the player with one of his shields, sometimes following it up with a swing from the other. Both of these attacks have quite a bit of delay to them, and some players will see the windup and roll too early, getting caught by the attack after their iframes end. Just don't panic and you'll be fine. Neither attack is too difficult to dodge. On occasion, Obryk will dig his shield into the snow and dig up a massive smoke screen to hide himself. Because you can't see him very well, you should move away from the cloud in order to see him coming. You also have the option of pinging him to mark his location, or simply using the Hunter's Mark mod to have full vision of him. The smokescreen attack is frequently followed up by him charging the player before doing the jumping slam, or by leaping at the player and slashing with his shield. Obryk will often leap in and out of the smokescreen repeatedly to take swings at the player. Alternatively, he might do the leap attack and then follow it with the uppercut and then the jumping slam. If Obryk has the Skullcracker affix, basically any of his attacks will knock you on your ass, which means that if you get hit, he can get free shots on you as long as he decides to keep attacking. It's a stupid oversight, because he can basically stun lock you to death if he wants to. Any form of stagger resistance will help overcome this. Obryk has a skull helmet covering his head that, if broken, will reveal a weak spot. However, the helmet is bugged and requires so much effort to break that you're better off just ignoring it and shooting his body. Upon reaching 60% of his HP, Obryk will charge up and release a frost wave across most of the arena and enter his phase 2. While most of his moveset isn't much different, two very critical changes occur. Firstly, he gains a damaging aura that deals frost damage to anything in the vicinity. This can build up the frozen status very quickly if not mitigated or avoided properly, and can be extremely irritating. You should try to keep a small distance from him to avoid the damage. Secondly, every time he digs up the smokescreen, he will now also release a frost wave across the arena. It moves very quickly, and can easily damage a player that's not ready for it. It builds up frostbite, and on high difficulties, can instantly freeze the player if they get hit by it. If you can, avoid rolling away from it, because this will put you inside of its hitbox for a much longer period of time. Instead, try rolling parallel to it, or even towards Obryk if you aren't already too close. I really can't overstate the importance of countering the Frost Aura and the Frozen status. Being frozen drives your stamina regeneration into the ground, on top of slowing your movement, and with this boss's relentless aggression, you could very well be doomed if you get frozen. Taking a spice root before the fight for the 30% resistance to frost damage is therefore a very good idea. I would also recommend keeping it in your quick select and consuming another every time your status bar gets anywhere near full. You really want to make sure you never get frozen. The Pristine Essence consumable will also help a great deal as well. When choosing your armor, I would advise against any armor that reduces its bonus when you are attacked. Armors like Carapace and Twisted Set become very useless once getting hit by the Frost Aura. I would also encourage that you find ways to reduce your encumbrance if you are wearing a heavy armor set, because unlike most bosses, the difference in recovery between a heavy and a medium roll can mean life or death. One set that particularly stands out is the Scrapper set, given how close range this boss is. It gives a strong outgoing damage bonus while simultaneously reducing incoming damage. Weapons with good burst potential shine in this fight, since you won't have a lot of time to stand still and fire for long periods of time. This means weapons like the shotgun, sniper rifle, and spore bloom perform well, while assault rifle, beam rifle, and Chicago typewriter will not. For weapon mods, there are a lot of useful options. Hotshot will significantly increase your damage, thanks to Obryk's weakness to fire damage. Hunter's Mark will increase your crit chance, and, importantly, will highlight the boss so you can see him through his smokescreen. Mantle of Thorns will greatly reduce the damage taken from Obryk and his Frost Aura, as well as reducing stagger from hits taken, which is almost a must-have if he has the Skullcracker affix and you cannot defeat him hitless. Riftwalker and Flicker Cloak are good options if you need a breather or just need to use a consumable, and Cold Spear will significantly slow him down, making it easier to escape his wrath. I would recommend against using summons of any kind, except maybe the Seeker Beetles. Some rings and amulets that stand out during this fight would be the Burden of the Gambler, Guardian's Ring, Keeper's Ring, and Twisted Idol. Because Obryk's weak spot is basically unable to be damaged, Burden of the Gambler will greatly improve your damage against every other spot on his body. Keeper's Ring and Guardian's Ring will both reduce the damage taken from the Frost Aura, and if elemental or melee resistance is stacked from other sources, it will make the damage quite minimal. Twisted Idol also has the ability to decrease damage taken, but has the additional benefit of reducing your armor encumbrance, which will increase roll distance and speed, in addition to reducing stamina costs. That's all the advice I have today for taking on Obryk the Shield Warden. Hopefully this guide will help you if you are having trouble. If you have additional questions, leave a comment and I'll reply to it if YouTube sends me a goddamn notification. Thank you for watching.